My kibbutz here is all destroyed. Innocent people died because Hamas terror is in charge in Gaza. When Hamas terror is in charge wherever in the world, no one can be normal who's living there because you are not free. We need to get the hostages back from there. They need to be back home now. I wish I could go there to bring them back home now, just to cross the border, to bring them home, and to make the borders to be a better place to live in. This house, from the beginning, was a house for the kibbutz doctor. Long time ago, we wanted a doctor in the kibbutz, that if something happens to someone, is there to handle and help us. After many years, we decided that we go to the hospital easy with the ambulance and this, so we decided to not have a doctor in the kibbutz. So this house, we decided that it will go for somebody who's in a wheelchair, because it was bigger openings by the doors. Mm-hmm. So Amitai Ben-Zvi, he lived here alone after his wife died. And he built this place up here to have a beer and see when the sun goes down. Mm-hmm. Before he was sitting in a wheelchair or walking with this one. Mm-hmm. So he sat up there having his beer, watching Gaza, wishing for peace. And then he needed a helper. He got Jimmy from Nepal, an amazing guy who was working with him, taking care of Amitai. The 7th of October, Hamas entered Kibbutz Nir Oz at 6:30 in the morning. They went to this part first. They murdered Amitai. They took Jimmy to Gaza. He came back in the hostage deal. But think what's going in his heart, that he could not save Amitai Ben-Zvi. This is Tamar Siman, my great friend. She has a beautiful heart. As you can see, we put hearts here for her. And a great smile. She was running for being the mayor of the area. It was supposed to be voting the 31st of October. She only lived until the 7th of October with her husband, Jonathan, that is an American citizen. His mother, Carol, was murdered in another area. Mm-hmm. And the youngest that was murdered in Nir Oz, 2 years old, and the two twins. The whole family here was murdered the 7th of October. She could have also been a great politician in the future of Israel. But, and her parents lives in a kibbutz close to us. Her sister decided to live here. She couldn't come here to help her, because if she would have left her house, Hamas would have murdered her. Jonathan had two sisters here, so close, but they could not come here to help them. So all these sisters are living in a big sorrow because they wasn't able to save their lives. And they are a wonderful family. They were a big family here. The sukkah there, the holiday that was, they always had a big family. Everybody were here, and she has a heart of gold. With fire in this house, they shocked so that the smoke went into their bomb shelter room. Mm-hmm. And may they rest in peace. She was a great fighter. I'm sure she had a chance to be the mayor of the area. I was also helping her, not just me, many of us that love Tamar's heart and smile and strength. This is Danny Darlington. His Batya, she was in charge of the volunteers when I came here. It's his son. He was born in England. I believe he was born in England, and Shelley, Shelley's sister, was born here in Israel. Batya separated from Chaim Perry, that he was murdered in Gaza. And she met David, an English volunteer, Britain volunteer. And they were living here for many years together. Then they decided to go back to live in Britain, in London. But Batya always came here to visit in the summer, so she stayed in my house with Danny and Shelley. This Sukkot weekend, they always came by my house to Shahar, that they came to visit him here. This is Shahar's brother's house. So every morning, me and my granddaughter Lilo, we made them pancake with Nutella. They were supposed to leave at Friday lunchtime. Me and my granddaughter are in the swimming pool. I see them from far. I thought strange they didn't go, but I didn't go to ask why they didn't go, because the flight was on Saturday and he wanted to go to visit his half-brothers in Baal and his half-brother. And then in the morning, Shelley's calling me from Australia. She lives in Australia. She's asking me about Danny, her brother, that they love each other very much. I told her, I don't know. I saw them in the pool. I know they were supposed to leave. We talked a few times. And then I got the announcement that Danny and Carol, they were only friends. She was from Berlin. She was here and she felt that this is her paradise. She had a week of paradise. And then I got the announcement from the kibbutz when they brought them to 2 children's houses and they knew who's alive, who's not alive, and whose bodies are here. So then I got the announcement that Danny and Carol was murdered here the 7th of October. And then I had to tell Shelley that Danny was murdered together with Carol in the kibbutz Nir Oz. You can see how Hamas shot the door, the handle, the shots, and they probably got in here.
And this is where Danny was, and that's
Carol was murdered the 7th of October. And may they rest in peace. And I think the whole world should know how Hamas went in and brutally murdered people at Kibbutz Nir Oz.
And this was the supermarket for the kibbutz, Rita.
Yes, this is our supermarket. Here, all the people in the kibbutz came to buy their food if they wanted to cook at home. And it was all new. They came here just to destroy. They didn't even take the food from the shelves. They just came here to destroy. They knew there were nobody here. They put the whole place in fire. You can see the cashews here, peanuts. Everything is left here, all the cans. And of course, we in the kibbutz, our favorite shelf, the beer shelf.
Yeah,
Yes.
beer shelf.
Yeah, we love having beer here.
Yeah.
And you can see how far it is all over there.
Mm-hmm.
And this was all new. It was such an amazing, beautiful supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
We had everything here, everything you need. It's really sad. We are the only kibbutz that the supermarket destroyed, the kitchen, the kindergarten, and so many of our houses were destroyed, and 80 kidnapped and 30 murdered And we still have 33 hostages left in Gaza. It's a big sorrow for Kibbutz, Nir Oz. This is a house where my son passed by here. He was grown up in this house. My son Daniel Lifshitz. And my thoughts about that it's a year. The kidnapped family members, the hostages, have to be back home now. That's the first thing. They have to be home. This is the first thing the world needs to put pressure on Hamas Senwar, need to put pressure on Israel. There have to be pressure that the hostages should be back home now, not tomorrow, now. Because they've been there. How can this happen, that they are still there for 1 year? And still, what's going on in Gaza is 1 year. Hamas don't care, terror don't care about killing in its own people. They don't care about killing other people. And Israel, we don't feel that we have the support from the government that they are fighting, that the hostages should be back home now. There has to be that the hostages are back, and there has to be a ceasefire now.